For the last 2 years, I've been on a journey I never expected to be on. When my mental health took a turn for the worst, none of us saw it coming, and it completely took me off of my axle. This is my story of how I've tried to find my balance and also discover who I really am. Alrighty, so this is gonna be kind of an emotional video. Hopefully I don't cry. If I do, I'll probably cut it out. But I felt like I needed to make this video in order to kind of give some context as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. There's just a lot that's led up to this, and I've wanted to do it for a while, and watching some of my now favorite YouTubers do it for about 1.5 years now since I discovered them. It's kind of become a dream. Kind of just put on a channel that is more open to discussion rather than something that is so fact-based and, opinionated. Because I want to brighten my views and I want to brighten my thoughts. To start, I grew up with mental health in my family. I should say mental illness in my family. And looking back, I now see that I had some very small anxiety symptoms growing up and some depression as well, but not as strong. But then when I was 15, it really developed. It got really bad, first off, because I didn't know what to do with it. I had never personally dealt with it. I had only seen others deal with it. And so that was really rough for me. But then as I got more of a hold on it and I was able to kind of come up with coping mechanisms that helped me to know what to do when the bad times came, it got better and better and better. I had decided when I was around 12 that I was going to serve a mission for my church, for the LDS church. And it was still is something that I feel very strongly about. It felt right, everything was leading towards it, and then when I was about 17, I was taking a mission prep class, and I got a really strong feeling that I either wouldn't be able to serve at all, or that I would have to come home early. And that kind of rocked my world for a minute, because it had been a dream of mine to serve my own mission under my own name. So I just decided to keep pushing forward because it felt right. And finally, when I graduated, I was able to turn in my papers 3 months before I turned 19. And when I got my call, it was to Tampa, Florida. I was a little disappointed because God knew and I knew that I wanted to serve in a different country. I wanted to learn a different language, but here I was called to Tampa, Florida, English speaking. Of course, nerves set in when it got closer to me flying out to Tampa, but the day of flying out, I was just excited to be in an airport because I love traveling. At the moment that I saw my mission president, it was like this dark blanket just went over me, and I had never felt such strong, crippling depression in my life. I was confused why I was feeling this way. I kind of blamed it on homesickness, which granted was part of it. I still don't know why it was so hard for me. I had an interview with my mission president the night that I got in, and he asked how I was doing, and I just started bawling. And I just told him how hard it was for me from that moment, and I didn't know why. I didn't know what was to come. I felt scared and tired and anxious and frustrated with the turnout of my emotions that night. The depression got worse and worse and worse. I remember just going into my closet, sitting on the floor, opening the bag of chocolates and just munching. And then I started crying, and I probably looked so pathetic, but I think it was the day after Thanksgiving that I couldn't get it out of my head, and I said, I can't do this mission anymore. this is a journey that I need to go on my own, and I can't do this work if I can't take care of myself. It was the hardest decision I've ever had to make, and it still hurts that I couldn't serve. It was the best decision I could have made. I think I'm about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks off of them. I'm not doing any meds right now, and I'm not doing any therapy, and I might be reaping the negative rewards from that. I think the hardest part of these last 2 years has been my spiritual journey, because I grew up in the church and I believed it was all true, and I still do. But I think I kind of took everything as a truth rather than being like, okay, that's a cool opinion, I wonder what I think about that. And so that's what I'm trying to kind of go towards everything as now. I'm trying to acknowledge that everything that people say is an opinion, and then I need to go out and find what I believe. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm not saying I'm mentally clear at all, or that I know what I'm doing, but I think the main part for me is that I'm starting to feel that hope for the future, rather than planning 5 years ahead and then saying, yep, that's me, I'm gonna get there now, because that's not how it works. And people have been trying to tell me that for years, and I just haven't listened. I don't know if you watched my last YouTube video about my childhood investigation, about my passions and everything that I had as a child. I kind of left on an empty note for that one, because I wasn't sure where I wanted to take it. My passion was singing and performing. And then I got home from my mission, and I kind of dropped all of that. It has been so damaging. Yes, it's been wonderful to find other passions that I have, but it has been so damaging to my core passions of performance and vocal performance and acting and dancing, and it's hurt me mentally, physically, spiritually even, and emotionally not to have that in my life, and letting the opinions of others as I do it kind of decide whether or not I'm going to do it again. And I've also had to deal with more rude, self-centered, narcissistic people over the last 2 years who have treated me badly. I think I'm honestly just now starting to acknowledge my self-worth. Took me 21 years, but I'm finally getting there, folks. You cannot go longer letting people whip you around. That's not what life is for. Your life is for you to decide what you want to be and what you want to do. And I'm getting tired of not remembering how important I am. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching such an emotional video. Things are changing a bit now in my life, so I think everything's going to start moving a bit quicker, which means I'm going to have more content, hopefully interesting content, and I'll be able to share that more diligently and more openly with you guys, rather than kind of scrambling to make time to make these videos, as you can hear by people up in the kitchen and my niece in the family room screaming and yelling and running around. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully you can share your goals with me, and I will keep sharing my goals with you. And here's to a bright new year. Let's get going.